And thanks again for that question, Brian. I really appreciate that. My toughest learning has come from failure, from working so hard to make it happen that I could not hear my teammates over my own awesomeness. I strive for excellence and precise execution in my work, and full transparency, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I've pushed myself and others to points that have caused me to make bad choices and experience lifetime regrets. One of my mentors, Tim, who's also a retired Navy SEAL, said to me that I have the heart to be on the teams, but my body could not take the physical punishment. Pretty high praise for a guy like me who's not very athletic and has eye challenges and who couldn't type fast enough to join the Navy and be a journalist at one point. I share all that to say this. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to learning and practicing team enabling behavior. Some of the best coaching advice I received was from my great friend Byron, who I met while working on cruise ships for Carnival Cruise Line in Miami. He gave me some straight talk a few years after I had left the submarine force and prior to serving in the special operations community. Byron pointed out my willingness to take shortcuts to achieve the next goal or objective I had in mind. I had not considered the impact of my shortcuts and how it might be creating space for my hero complex to show up and save the day. He told me the unvarnished truth, and it hit me hard to the point where I felt I really needed to look at my motives and do some soul searching. I admit he was right. I was wrong. And I adjusted my attitude and behavior while putting in the hard work to get the results I wanted to without cutting corners. Not every teammate can handle blunt assessments like Byron's to me about how I achieve results. We need to remember that each of us is a person with self doubts, influencing feelings, negative emotions, and personal struggles. If a hero is a type who might be able to receive direct feedback in the moment when the behavior shows up, then continue to proceed with caution and empathy while providing feedback in the moment. If not, do some reflection on your own past experiences with the hero and ask some probing questions of the hero prior to providing feedback. Once the sense making is complete, pick the right time and place and prepare for the conversation with the hero privately to help preserve trust and support the team dynamic. I would also suggest inviting a neutral observer who's not on the team as company or organization policy advises or permits. Without sense making to figure out where the hero is in their own head, you might make matters worse rather than make matters better. As well, talk through what team enabling behavior looks like with the hero if time permits. Don't overwhelm the conversation with detail as feedback is processed at different speeds for different people. It might be advisable to separate the conversation on feedback and team enabling behavior. If the hero becomes defensive, this will allow, the team enabling behavior if the hero becomes defensive. This will allow the hero to reflect on the information being presented before proceeding with the next steps on those things as far as suggested behavior changes. I want to pause for a moment and allow this preceding point to set in. What I'm about to share is probably the most delicate personal moment in this particular webinar. If you suspect the hero on the team may have an underlying unspoken set of challenges that are a point of cause for their behavior, conclude the feedback conversation and engage the human resources team. The situation might call for clinical professionals specifically trained to work in the space of human behavior. And this leads me to my story. That is part of my own journey away from the hero complex while finding a new normal, navigating the effects of post-traumatic stress from my time in uniform. For a few years after my final deployment, my second to Afghanistan, I was really tightly wound. I was stressed, strained, and really immersed in my work. I was also easily frustrated, short tempered, and quick to get angry when I felt ignored professionally or not taken seriously in my business career. I was torn by how I could be respected while I was performing my reserve duties in uniform and yet be disregarded and disrespected back in my real job. Once I retired from the Navy Reserve, my response to stress triggers only got worse, to the point where, after false starts, misunderstandings, and missteps, I found myself in the ranks of the underemployed. I had to take a hard look at my actions, behaviors, and results to figure out how I had ended up in that situation. I discovered that I needed help to heal from post traumatic stress. I was not a hero to anyone. I could not pull miracles off anymore. I had reached the end of my road in my search for validation after my time in uniform. I worked through my hurt, my healing, and finding what normal looks like for me each day. I needed to see the work, the world, and the teams I support differently as I came to terms with my own needs and weaknesses. Maybe your hero is not suffering from a large personal or professional setback. Maybe it's rooted in childhood bullying, organization dysfunction, or even temperament challenges. Teams can learn to work with their hero and help their hero through the cause of the hero complex. Exercise caution as organizational culture may be enabling and reinforcing the hero complex unwittingly or unwittingly. Leaders and managers should be engaged and involved in supporting both the team and the hero to work towards learning team enabling behavior. Team enabling behavior might be asking the hero to demonstrate or teach skills to fellow team members, supporting, providing support for a side project that the hero has a keen interest in completing, but not enough time or ability to get it done alone. The team rallying around the hero as the hero presents at a conference or a community group to affirm the hero's value to the team. Remember, the team does not have to travel this road alone in the process of helping the hero develop team enabling behavior. Leadership and management have active roles to play in this process as well. They help create the environment that reduces the opportunities for heroes to flourish and amplify the structures that support team success. In wrapping this thought up, let's refer to the triangles on the slide again. A goal should be that the hero and the team work together and everyone begins to move away from the roles of victim, persecutor, or rescuer/hero and toward the roles of creator, coach, and challenger. This shifts the conversation from anxiety-based, problem-focused to passion-based, outcome-focused team interactions. The result could be less strife and more harmony between team members. So I want to pause before we get on to the final point. Any questions out there? All right, 30 seconds of uncomfortable silence, and I'm good on going on to the final point. Thanks for hanging in there with me, everyone.